So in this video I'm just going to complete my new charging contact. So I changed from the Lymo base charging contacts. I'm going to move these pretty much up to here. Well, that's the plan anyway. I've already moved the contacts, or put an extra set of contacts on the front of the top of the deck on the mower. I'll show you that in a second. But what I want to do now is get rid of these bloody stupid things, because every time it goes to charge I have to wipe its bum, otherwise it just doesn't charge. So yeah, we can move these buggers. I know you can get kits and whatever, but I'll make it myself. I don't like the look of the kit. So yeah, we'll have a go, see what it comes out like. Anywho, I'll show you the mower in a second. So here's the contacts I've stuck on the front of the mower. They're just a couple of brass strips, bit of brass I had kicking around, and I've basically soldered a wire onto the back of those, which goes through to the wire that I've taken through and piggybacked off the existing contacts. So these are just piggybacked. So the other ones are still there and they'll still work if I need to, but yeah, these are extras. So now just got to make it so as when it drives onto the station, the contacts make contact on there and hopefully charge it, and we'll have no more problems, because everything else seems to be going pretty good, touch wood. Anyway, let's have a look at this this docking station, see how I can get these off. Right, I've given this a little bit of an hose off because it was a bit shitty, because it lives outside. So let's pull these little buggers off. I've never taken this apart before, so it's all new to me. Hopefully we can reuse parts of this to adapt so as it will charge, but won't really know until we get the bugger apart, I suppose. I might just take the one out for a minute and then well, that's pretty shitty, isn't it? Right, I suppose the next thing is suss out how to get that apart. So, we'll put your screws somewhere. Does it even come apart? They must have made it, so if they've made it, it'll come apart, won't it? Aha. Some screws down here. I know some clever people with 3D printed stuff, but I don't know how to do 3D printing. So it's probably going to be made out of metal, I'd imagine. Right. Just not to lose all the little screws, just in case we have to put it back. Already lost one screw, that's good, isn't it? It'll be around here somewhere, I should imagine. Probably. No? Oh, there it is there. Marvellous, right. So that's good, that mechanism's all in one bit. So, really, if I can push that pin out, get this out, it's got new wires on it. There's another couple of wires here, I don't know what they do. There your micro switch. So there's a micro switch which turns on the charger. Otherwise there's nothing here until you get something on there. So I'm going to reconnect all those as well. That's not a problem. That'll be our negative, I should imagine, because it's black. Get rid of them bloody screws and all. Yeah, I'm just going to get a rag, see if I can clean a bit of this off. It's all very icky because it's winter in New Zealand now and it's wet as bugger out there. Pretty much what I want is that there, like that, up there. So I can see if I can't get this apart and see what the connectors are in there. I'll probably just cut it and crimp it. And I will not be able to reuse that at all. Might be able to. I could just screw that bastard straight up there like that, couldn't I? But I won't know until I get the mower on top of it to see where it's going to go, I suppose. So I'll get this other side off. Now that's come apart. Anyway, I'll get this all off and then I reckon I'll come back. So I reckon I'm committed now because I've just cut all the wires. There's a worm. So there's our two charging paddles, red and black, and then you've got your little contact in there. So there's a micro switch in there, and you can hear that as you press down on it, it contacts, and that'll pull in the charger and say, hey. We can now let electricity pass because there's a lawnmower on it, otherwise you'd have 38 volts or whatever it is on there all the time, which you don't want in case a pet goes and licks it or something, or licks both of them, it hurt. But anyway, so I've got those now. Next thing is to get our little mower and chuck him up on his charging station and see where they've got to go. Hopefully don't fall off. Let's try and get it balanced. Something like that. Very balanced at the minute, but by the time I get the mower in there, it will be. Right. That's where it wants to be. So, that deck's up at its normal height, and our charging thingos. They want to be actually want to be back there, didn't they? Like that. Now will it affect it if I destroy its? I think it will, won't it? I don't think it's going to like that too much, to be fair. I might take these apart and I think that the micro switch, which does a contactor, which will put charge from the battery charger through. I don't know if I actually need that micro switch anymore. So I might just be able to make myself up a couple of mounts for those. With a pin through. Get rid of the rest of this rubbish. Yeah. It'd be great if the charge station was a bit longer. I could move everything forward a bit or back, but can't do that. So, yeah, I am going to have to pull this apart. So I'll pull this apart, get the pin out, and see what I'm left with. So I should do that. I'm only going to do one. And now I've got it all apart. It's quite complicated because there's things in the way of things where I want to put things, if you know what I mean, which is a pain in the arse. Although that is the back, so that might work. That's where the cables come out. There's a little bit of real estate in there I'd like to use. So what I might do is mark it on the front with a pen and see if I can cut anything out. And I'm probably just going to get rid of the contactors because they're a pain in the arse. And now the contacts will be facing down rather than up. I don't care if they're live when it's not charging, you know what I mean? And I think that it won't get any power through it anyway because the battery charger is intelligent as well, so it doesn't just have power on it all the time. It's got to have a battery connected, so it's looking for a signal. I think they call it a handshake, know what I mean? So anyway, that's the bit I want to use, but it's going to have to go through there. I'm going to have to make a slot in this. So this side's okay because there's nothing there. The other side, on the other end, is a bit more busy. It's got our cables and stuff in there for the charger and the RTK station. So, and it's got a little box of tricks up there as well. So I have to have a little think about this. That's probably why they did it the way they did on these aftermarket ones with the two probes that just go in. But I've heard people having problems with those as well because as you park the mower on it, it backs off and they lose tension and don't charge. Whereas this is just going to sit under the springs like the opposite of what it was. So hopefully it'll work. Just might have to change where these cables come out, which isn't a big deal really, to be fair. I mean, I could just put a gland in the back of this bit here, which is the cover. I could modify that, which goes on there, and move the cables so they come up out of the middle here with as I say, with a gland. And that's not a bad idea. Then that opens up that side for me. Right. Righty. So whatever I do may live in here for this, because the pivot point might live in there, which it will do, possibly. Oh, actually no, it's just going to stick out the front a little bit, but that's okay. But the spring may attach in there somewhere to give it its tension. Anyway, I'm going to draw some lines with a pen, I think. So I've made some marks on there, I don't know if you can see there and the other side. Now what I've got to do is drill that in the corners and then try and use a drill, I guess, to just take that out and make a hole for our contact to go through. So I guess this is full commitment again, isn't it? I might just draw it out a little bit prettier than that, just to make it so they look nice when it's cut. So I'm just drilling these holes. And now I'm drawing them up, don't I? So there's my holes. So one side is nice and easy to work because there's nothing there. The other side is a bit busy, but it's where it's got to go. So I think that's just what's going to happen. Now I might just go and get my renovator and cut them with a renovator. Might make a neater job. So I'll go and find that. Right, I'll tie them up afterwards
when I'm finishing it, but there's my holes. And in that, now I can get rid of that because that's what acted on the micro switch, because it won't go through with that on there, but it does go pretty much where I want it. I can see me getting some plastic and some super glue and making this part, to be honest with you. So I was going to get rid of those, which was for the micro switches. So because I haven't got the technology to do 3D printing, although my daughter's got a 3D printer, but she just does animals and stuff and things to give to her mates, and I've never really sat down and tried to use it. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I've got the pins and the bits, so I'm just going to use the glue gun. But the glue I've got is for panels, it's for dent pulling, so it's a bit more grunty. But I'm just going to try and glue these pins back on here. Hopefully they'll stay in place. But that's my plan. I think it's, or I could use some epoxy or something, but this for now, we'll see if it works. Just going to do one side at a time. And hold it like that for ages, because it takes ages to go off, doesn't it? But we'll see if it works or not. As long as it pivots and I can get the spring so as it holds it down, then we should be in a good place. And all of the connections now are going to be up in behind here, not down in the wet like they were before. So I've also belled out the micro switches so I know how they work. So they are, when there's no mower on it, they're held in the open position. So all I need to do is connect those two wires together, or the 4 wires. There's 2 plugs, so the black and the blue will be connected together on both of those plugs. That'll energise the contact inside here. So when this is on, these will be live when it's got a battery on it, obviously. But has that gone off yet? It's still really sticky. I suppose I'll just have to stand here and hold it, won't I? Anyway, I'll do that and I'll come back. So that's what I've got so far. They all move up and down. I've got to put the springs on yet. I'm just going to go and trial fit it, see if it's going to work. So that's just glue gun. I might just put some glue in these, top of these as well, stop water going in there and whatever. Or I could build a cover over top of my lawnmower. But at the moment, I just roughed up the surface of this plastic so the glue gun would stick to it, the glue would stick to it. And it seems to be all right. So this is pretty tough stuff, this, for pulling panels, like little dent pulls and whatever. And then I'm going to attach the spring somewhere up in here, which will hold it down. Anyway, I'm going to go and trial fit it. So I've got these springs and bits and bobs on. I'm just sticking this back onto the unit without all the back plate and all that on it, just to see if it's going to work. I can drive the mower onto it remotely, just see if it's going to make a good contact. It does. We're on a winner. Funny enough, well, months and months ago, like when we had the issues with the charging and all that, and I was emailing Lymo and trying to get this thing sorted out, and then you know how terrible they are at replying. Eventually someone replied, well, it was a robot I think, but it might have been a robot, and said, oh yeah, we'll send you a packing slip and we'll arrange a pickup, etc, etc, and we'll give you a refund or give you a new unit. And then we didn't get a new unit. Anyway, same thing as everybody else's. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And I heard nothing, and then I said, look, just send me the parts. Which I got some parts from that guy from New Zealand, somewhere up north, who's got a franchise for these. Anyway, I pretty much fixed it myself, so don't worry about it. I sorted it, so stuff here sort of thing. And then the last week and the week before, I got a phone call from Main Freight saying, "Oh, you've got a package for us to pick up 45 kilos. I said, "No, nothing about that, mate." I don't know what they're talking about, but it was this, wasn't it? Twice I tried to pick it up. I've got no labels to put on it. It's like, what was going on back at Lymo? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put this on the floor, see if it fits. Right, so there's our contacts. I've just driven the mower on, but I couldn't show because I was using the remote, but it actually worked bloody good. Straight in and bonk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it all back together again, connect the cables up that I need to connect up, and chuck it back out in the garden and plug it all in, I think, and we'll see how we go. So I'm just doing these final connections. So now everything's connected in the top. So I'm just using heat shrink crimps. So they're a crimp with a heat shrink on them. So they'll be waterproof as well, but it's going like that. That's those two's done. And then all I'm going to do is, I've twisted these together. These are to trick the little contacts. So just going to solder these wires just for belt and braces. Not that it needs it, and a heat shrink nose as well, like that, quickly. Then I can put his clothes back on and chuck it back out in the garden and bolt it back down again. Grass is miles too wet to mow in a minute, but hopefully this will cure our issue of always having to wipe its bloody contacts, which is a pain in the ass. You get messages, "Oh, the mower has unexpectedly stopped charging." Really? Of course it has. A little bit of heat shrink over there. And that's Scooby-Doo us. Right, that's that. Now I can put it all back together again, and hopefully we'll be in a good place for charging. So here he is, back on his ass, and I don't know if you can see that, but status charging. There we go. So it's a little bit wet, but I could send him out just to do a little bit and see how he goes. But to be fair, probably don't matter anymore, because his charging contacts won't get covered in poo and grass and rubbish, so he'll be good in the hood. So anyway, I might give him a go in a minute, see what he does. Right, let's see how he goes. Gonna send him off to mow, and then hopefully he'll return and charge up again. So let him go off and do his thing. So I guess the proof's in the pudding. So what I'm going to do, it's still got 33% battery, but I'm just going to dock him and see what he does. It may take a little bit of time. Oh no, here he goes. There's our new contacts up there, hopefully. He finds the buggers. Thinking about it. He always has a big old think about it before he goes on it, to be fair. Bit of a jiggle and a joggle. Go on, it's there, you twat. That's why it's called Mower twat, by the way. It's quite fussy, isn't he?
Charging started.
Well, there you go. He's on. It's not quite on square, but it's still charging. It's gone on the contacts. And charging has started, don't you know?